doing out there? Excuse me. Let's see what's going on. Are we live? Yeah, there we go. Let's get the comments up so we can see who's watching. Excellent. Right, we're up and running. Let's see if we can get some comments up and going. Right, good afternoon, people. Got the old Baja back again. Excuse me, Cora, I need to mute that because that's going to do my head in, listening to my own voice in the background. Okay, right, so as much as I love this damn thing, it's got too much power. That OBR is something else, and even with these they spiky tyres, they're not let me grab all of you guys here and show you. There we go. There we go. So even with these tyres, I struggle to get the power down, and part of the reason being is this thing's just got so much torque low down that it's just bam, power, and no matter how you feed it in on the throttle, it's just power. So I thought I'd gear it up a bit more. If I remember correctly, I'm running 1955 in this at the moment, so I've just ordered a 20 and a 54. So on this one here, we've got a new clutch bell. This one's got it's like a vertigo, I suppose. So we've got the hex on the end of the clutch bell there. I don't know if that's showing up, not really. There you go, just about make it out. And obviously you got the hex in the pinion. So I had to order the whole kit: clutch bell, pinion, and the gear set. This is quite a nice, well machined gear. It's a metal gear, so you can hear there clearly, tink tink. So we're going to put this new gear set in the Baja. Now this weekend we're going out for a rip. There's quite a few of us coming out, hopefully. As long as everybody that comes along and says they're going to come along, it'll be a good day. It's just a bag of the old body pins there. As you saw, I just lifted the cage off because I knew I was going to be doing this, so I didn't go too mad and put it all back together fully. I don't know why I can't see the comments on the screen. I'm not sure what's going on there, but let's see if we can work out what's going on. Won't let me join, but never mind. Hopefully I'll see some comments as they pop up. Right, so in order to change this, we've got to do a little bit of stripping. I might have to take the exhaust off, which is a bit of a pain on this because undoing that bolt is really difficult. But I'm going to persevere and see how it goes. So let's get some tools out, start undoing, take the cover off. Let's see if we can get you guys in a bit of more of a better view there somewhere so you can see what we're actually doing. It might help a little bit, eh? You never know. Bear with me. This is where the camera falls over and everything goes Pete's on. Alright, there we go. A little bit dark, let's move a bit of light in about. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a bit better. Right guys, so we've got, take the cover off. As with most of these, if you've still got the cover on, all you've got is a little R-clip behind here. Pop the R-clip out. There's another one down the bottom. Which means on this particular one I've got to take the under tray off. Now the under tray on this one was held on with an R-clip on the back here, but the little plastic stud on the under tray broke off a while back. So I just put a little 10mm bolt through it and a nut on the end of it. So let's just pop the under tray off there. Nice and easy. So there you can see that just hooks onto the chassis with 3 little hooks, and that's where the plastic stud was that had the R-clip. I just put a bolt through the back of it there, and I'll just put a simple nut on. Keeps the chassis on a little bit better than that plastic bit did. Right, so we've got another R clip down there. Now we can take our gear cover off like so. Now I tend to put the R clips and bits and pieces back inside the gear cover so I don't lose them. Now we've got to pop off our E clip. Okay, so once you remove your E clip off your spur gear, your spur gear will come out. Now you can see I've already changed these, so I was already running metal gears on this. I believe that's a 55. It's definitely not a 20, so yeah, that's good. Now with this setup, need an Allen key. I may have to put a wrench. You know, I should have left the gear on, to be honest with you. But let's find the right size Allen key. There we go. Just go and grab some wrench. Right, there we go. So now I know there's people probably screaming out in the comments already or watching this back going, no, don't do that, but it's my way of doing things. So let's see if I don't know if this is going to undo. This is going to be a great start, isn't it? Because we're going to struggle with this one already. Here we go. Great fun. Somewhere. Not that one. I'm going to find a. That's a better fit, a much better fit. Right. Please be undoing. No, that's not undoing either. Oh yes, it did. That did undo, thank God for that. I thought for a minute that was rounding out, but luckily we got it. So right, so we got the pinion bolt out. Now on this design, I'll get it off and I'll be able to show that a little bit clearer what I'm talking about, but it's got basically like a keyway in it which holds the spline or the gear onto the clutch bell, so I'm just going to have to work this out gently off the keyway. So we're just going to give it a little tweak as we go around, and there we go, that's now off the keyway. So you'll see there on this one what you've got there. There we go, focused. So you've got a nice little keyway which sits on the end of the clutch belt. So this is why I had to change the clutch belt with the hex on it, because obviously that's not going to fit. So That's the old gears removed, which now means we have to get to the clutch bell. So I've got to take my gear plate off here, which is one of the first things we need to be removing. And I've just lost my Allen key. Gonna have to replay the. Shall I rewind it on there and see so you see where my Allen key went? Oh, it fell to the floor. It did. There we go. Right. Let's have a look here and see. That's a lovely fit that is. Just crack that loose like that, and this side here. Now you'll see this is already an upgraded plate on this one, because those of you that are familiar with the Bajas will know that there's normally another 2 screws here and here, so here and here. Obviously with this upgraded aluminium brace here you don't need that. Oh, one other thing guys, very important. Don't forget to take your spacer off. Behind your spur gear, on here, there'll be a little spacer. Might be purple, might be orange, might even be black. I know the one that came with this set here was a black one, I'm sure. I put it down somewhere. But yeah, the one that came with the set that was up here was black. That one's orange, so we're going to probably stick with the original one, I think, for now. Purely because I've lost the bag that the other one came in. And somewhere in there is a spacer. I can't for the lights, I think what I think of it. No. Let's have a look. No, I've put it down somewhere safe. And obviously it's it's on the floor down there. There we go. That's how safe it is. Right, so let's carry on taking this side plate out. So yeah, this Sunday we're out for a big bash. A lot of us meeting up and making sure everything's in tip-top condition, ready to go. So we will get some running footage of this up and going. Let's see if we can get a bit more light in here. Stop the camera darkening out so much. Let's have a look here. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Right. So we've got those 2 screws off now. I've got to take these 2 bolts out. And this is the one where I think I'm going to need to take the exhaust off. Because... let's have a go and see. There we go. That just about fits underneath that pipe, you see. Now the reason I've got to take the gear plate off is obviously I've got to get to the clutch bell. And I'm going to need to remove the clutch housing. So therefore, once we've got these out, let's see, if I remember correctly, this should be short enough to come out without having to take the pipe out. But I honestly can't remember. Just. Right. Or is it this one here? Just get in there. Give it a little tweak. There we go, that's loose. Alright, spin that one out. Right, coming out. There we go, much shorter bolt. Yeah, lovely. Right, so now our gear plate should come free. There we go. So now, as you can see with this one, it's the upgraded one with the bearing built into this, whereas the original one you've got a little plastic V shape that comes down here with a bearing carrier, whereas this is all in one. Could do it with a little bit of a clean. Obviously where I haven't taken it apart for a while. But yeah, so that's the upgraded gear carrier or gear plate. It's quite a good idea because like that plastic block warps, which can lead to bearing plate, and obviously your lay shaft suffers. So now we've got the gear plate off. We've got one bolt here, and one bolt down here, and that should remove the clutch bell housing, or the clutch bell carrier should I say. So just break these free. Hopefully they won't round out. That one doesn't feel like it wants to budge. Got that one. Okay, that's free. Let's see if we can persuade this one again. No, that one's going to round. Let's see if we can find a... I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll spin these two out quickly and I can find a socket that's going to fit that. Oh, very important as well not to lose your spacer behind the top here. I did have an enclosed clutch carrier on this previously, but it overheated, caused the clutch spring to snap, plus it was a pain in the backside to take everything out because the housing, whereas with this design you've only got the 3 bolts as opposed to the 4, makes life a little bit easier. Alright, let's see if we can find a Torx or a hex bit to fit this one. What was that? Is that the kiddie? That is the one. Might need to drive that in a little bit. Yeah. Let's see if we can get this to persuade out now. Fingers crossed. God, come on. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, don't struggle with Allen keys. If you got your Allen key and it's rounding, don't keep trying. See if you can find a Torx bit or a hex drive from a socket set that will fit in there. They tend to fit in a lot squarer and deeper. I don't know why. They're just better than Allen keys in general. So managed to save that one and get that out. Beautiful. Doing well so far. We haven't lost anything. Right. Now I think if I might remember correctly, we have to move this brace out of the way. Let me see, I can't remember if you can wiggle this out without it. Got a funny feeling. What's we hitting on? Get that spacer out. There we go. So that's that big spacer at the top I was talking about. Don't ever lose that one. You've also got two little spacers down the bottom. Here we go. Yeah, you can wiggle it out. I thought you could. I thought it would wiggle. So there we go. Right. So you've also got a spacer in here. Be careful not to lose these. Whether you've got a plastic one or an upgraded one. See there, we've got an orange spacer and an orange spacer there, and that's where the other spacer sits. Alright, so just got to separate clutch bell. For some reason it doesn't want to come through. Give it a bit of persuasion. It's probably got a burr on the end of it. There we go. Taking the bearing with it. Yep. Okay, so where did I put those grips? There they are. Alright, so probably won't be using this clutch bell again. It's not even vented, to be fair. So it's a little bit grubby in there. But that's the keyway we were talking about earlier on. So you have to line those up together. And yes, there's obviously a little bit of a burr on that because it doesn't want to line up very well. Let's see if that lines up any better as the other side. Yeah, marginally better. There's still a slight burr in there, so that's obviously got hot or changed shape ever so slightly. Maybe a little bit of sandpaper on there, give it a clean up. But that's the old gear set. So that's let me double check that is a 19. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. And that's a much bigger pinion. So we're going up to the 2054 from a 1955. So that's our old ones there. Got my teeth going cold. Alright people, so that's our old set there. We've got clutch bell, pinion and spur gear. So now we're going to fit the bearing back in the carrier here. So what does that feel like? That one feels okay. That one feels a little bit dry. Maybe pop a new one in there. Where's my bearings to? Actually, we'll just give that a clean up because I can't access the box that's got all the new bearings in at the moment. So we will just give that a little bit of a quick clean up. Oh, actually, yeah, that's all right. That's running fine. Just a little bit greased up. Lovely. If anything, that's probably more from when I jet washed it last time. So don't use WD-40 on bearings, people. WD-40 drives out oil and grease. Also drives out the water, but it dries out all your bearings. So you want something with a bit of PTFE or a lubricant in it. Got somebody else joining. I'm not sure what's going on. I can't see any chats at the moment, so I'm not sure. All chat and messages, not sure what's going on there, but can't seem to see any popping up. So do drop us a comment if you are watching and say hello. That's better. Nice smooth running bearing. You don't want a quick clean up as well. That's lovely, right, so I've got centreforce on in the background, AE83, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's absolutely banging. So lovely, just turn it up a little bit. Probably get a copyright strike now, but never mind. It's nice to have a bit of background music in it. Right, so, clutch carrier, bearings. Nice and flush. You can tell that's good because it just wants to drop. So if I pinch that and release, there we go, bearings are nice and smooth. So where's our new clutch bell gone? There we go, new clutch bell. So we'll pop that in there like so. Beautiful, look at that, smooth as anything. Alright then. Whilst I've got this out, it's a bit easier. Actually no, I can't. Trouble going up gears, the 18 and the 17 will fit through the hole on the gear plate. The 20 and the 19 won't. So this is why I had to strip it all down. Right, squeeze that bell back in now, making sure that it does go. A little bit of a wiggle. I've done it before. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go, hooked up on up the top here. I think I am going to have to slacken that brace off, to be fair. Fortunately, it's not too tight. He says he can't undo that one. Right, here we go. There's always something in there, peeps. There's always something, eh? Right, so I'll take this under tray off, which is a couple of split pins. Pull that forward. Of course, it's all where I've got the side pipe on here. I can't take that off fully because it's all cable tied up to it, but that's my own fault. But I can get in here now. There we go, slacken the off. Slacken that off. Should hopefully give me enough. There we go, pull that out and pop him in. Right, so I'm going to put that big spacer back in on the clutch housing, remember. That goes in up there. And then your big long bolt goes through there into the clutch housing on the engine. we'll put these two back in with that hex bit, I think. Right, anybody chatting there? How are we doing? No, nobody's said anything there. We've got 2 people watching, that's nice. Alright, so pop that one in there. Won't do it up too tight just yet. Ideally, I know what you're all shouting, should have thread lock on this probably. And you're right, yes I probably should. But if you do it up tight, you shouldn't really need to thread lock it. And then you don't have such a problem when it comes to taking them out. So I'll show you what I do anyway. So we're just going to nip them up finger tight like so. Nip up this brace one again. These 2 on the side. Now, so you can see I'm doing it the long way around, so I'm not going to get very much torque or leverage on those bolts in a minute, so chances of rounding them out are very, very slim. Right, so now we're in. Going to make sure that that's fully seated, and we're just going to give it a little bend. That's nice and tight now. We don't want to go any more than that. That one's still turning. So if it's still turning, that's good. Hold the end of the Allen key. If the Allen key's not turning and bending ever so slightly, that's tight enough. You don't want to go any more than that, because that's when you are going to run into the realms of stripping out heads, stripping out your hex on the Allen key. So that's still going. That's still going. Just can't get rid of it. I think that's about it now. We've got a nice little bit of bend. Don't want to go any more than that. Check that one's nice and tight again now. Lovely. That's absolutely fantastic. Right, we'll get our well-sized torque deep in there. Just give it a little nip. There we go. Same again with this one. Just going to give it a little nip. There we go. Not too much, because I want to be able to take them out again at some point. And finally this one up here. That's it. No more than that. That's all we need. Right, so making sure our brakes haven't moved too much. There we go. Why is that not lining up at the minute? Hang on. Rear brake shoe, front brake shoe. I see the brakes fall off the hex there at the minute. Right. Let's pop the brake back on. Of course, the brake disc would have fallen off when I took the clutch bell housing out. There we go. So lining back up and putting back in place. And now we can reinstate our gear plate. What's that bearing like? Lovely and smooth. Perfect. So we're going to pop our gear plate back on. Like so. That's it. Beautiful. Right, so I'm going to put bolting through the top here again on the brake block, hampered by this wonderful OBR exhaust pipe. There we go. spin that down a little bit. If I can get the Allen key out, that would be helpful. There we go. Second one in here at the back. Spin that down. Lovely. And then we've got these two here which go into the front on the clutch housing or clutch bell carrier. Which way round was it? That's the longer one, that's the shorter one, isn't it? Yep, that's it. So screws on these plates are slightly different lengths. Make sure that you got the right length in there, otherwise it will come through the back of the clutch housing and hit your clutch bell, and then that will stop your clutch bell. It cause heat and friction and do no end of good for your bearings. Not only the bearings, it's probably not going to do your actual clutch bell and clutch very much good either. So we're just going to nip those up there. Is that the right one? Yes, it was. So just give it a little tweak there. Nip that up. Little tweak. Perfect. This one's a bit more tricky, just because of where it's located, right underneath the exhaust pipe. Oh, that wasn't seated very well. Let's try that again. Here we go. Alright, there we go, all tight, lovely. Just give those a quick check. Yeah. We're all good there. We've got our spacer under the engine, which we missed out the other day. They turned up, I put those in. Let's pop our under tray back on there. Just another couple of R clips. One more underneath here. That's that one. Right, so spacer. Don't forget your spacer. So here's, found the packaging for the original one. Let's just make sure they are the same. I would say the new one is perhaps ever so slightly bigger. Ever so slightly bigger. Not by much. That's going to focus. There we go. So maybe we will run. Let's have a look. Will that fit in there? That will fit in there. So I think we will run the other spacer because maybe that's a slightly thicker gear set. Yes, it is. Yep. That's definitely slightly thinner than the gear set I've been running. So that's a positive. Right, okay, so clutch bell is in. Now we're going to put on our pinion gear and bolt. Now this one's different because the other one had a M4, I think it was, cap head screw that went through the clutch bell. And the clutch pinion gear. This one here is, I think it's a 10mm. Let's have a look. Yep, this one here is a 10mm nut. And we've got somebody else joined in. Who have we got there? Can we see? Yeah, it doesn't really want to show me anything on the messages, this silly phone. Alright, so anyway. Got a 10mm nut there. Alright, so we'll just get that started. There's a little bit of drag on those clutch bells, but it's not the bearings, so that's the main thing. Right, we'll get that started. We've got that on. So now we're going to pop on our spur gear. Which will make it a lot easier to tighten up the pinion, he says. There we go. I might just have to lock that up quickly with a screwdriver. There we go, just pop something in the teeth there quickly. Just enough to tighten that up. Yeah, that's grinding on the clutch shoes, but then that is a pretty new clutch in there, so I'm not surprised. Alright, and then don't forget your E-clip. Very important, yeah. E7 HD clip. Because if you forget that, you'll lose your spur gear. And it'll just make a mess of everything. So there we go, we know that's seated on nicely. Yeah, that's definitely just grinding on the clutch a little bit. Once that's spun around a little bit, that'll do really well. You can see here as well, guys. Look at the diff fluid there. I've got million weight diff fluid in here now. And now you can see, spin that one, this one's going backwards. But I can also hold it still. So the diff is very, very stiff now. Hopefully that will make this drive a bit straighter instead of a bit more all over the place. Right, so waffling, wrenching away. Here we go. Right, so I am just going to find that, which is a little bit chunkier. Just make sure that we are nice and, there we go, that's nice and tight. So we've got spacer, pinion, spur, cup of tea. Lovely. I don't know why I can't see the comments, but never mind. Bit bizarre, isn't it? Won't let me. Oh, there we go. There we go. We've got it coming up now. But we got no comments. Nobody's talking to me today. That's a shame, isn't it? Never mind. I don't care. I'm still doing what I've got to do. It's educational for you guys. You can watch it whenever you like. Do you know what I mean? You haven't got to watch it live. Right, where did that one come from? That was from the pinion, so we don't need that. So lastly, we've got our spur gear cover. These have got a little clip on the back there, which hooks over the back of the gear plate, and then your two little plastic pushers and an R-clip. So I'm just going to slot that in over the back of the gear plate there, like so. Push the two little pins through. Fantastic, and then we're just going to check. That's fantastic. And then this is the bit I absolutely hate, is trying to get these tiny little split pins back in. If you've got yourselves a little needle nose or fine nose or long nose pliers, it does help. Especially with this side pipe. I love it, but my god, it's an inconvenience. It really is an inconvenience. Let's see. I can't actually see in here at the minute. There we go. What way is the hole? Let's have a quick look. There we go. That makes life a bit easier. So I go pop. Can see why most people don't run spur gear covers, but for me, I like them. Just helps keep the dust and dirt out really, doesn't it? Excuse my head being in the way, people. Helpful when your torch dies. I couldn't really see a lot before, now I can see absolutely nothing. Right, there we go. So that's the other split pin in the bottom there. Right, so by all accounts, let's just do a quick run through. Not going to fire it up because that would be silly, we're indoors, but by all accounts, turn the controller on, select the Baja, turn this on and just make sure everything's back where we should be. So look at that steering, really fast, high speed. That's what we like in it. There's a little bit of play in that bearing there somewhere. To be fair, that's typical Baja, isn't it? But yeah, look, high speed steering, and we've got plenty of throttle. We are achieving full throttle on the carb, and we've got brakes. Oh yeah, locked up. Okay. Right, so servo wise, guys, in this we have a 9-mod digital waterproof servo there. So that's my throttle and brake. It's 35 kilo, metal geared, IP67 rated waterproof servo, and then we've got the good old Savox servo in there as well, providing my steering, which has nice and quick. As you can see there, plenty of torque and power. Now this was a KM. You can tell by the KM braces there on the front. But obviously all that's been upgraded. We've got the OBR power supply and power unit here. The OBR side pipe. We've got these Elcon MK wheels, I think they're called. Now I also upgraded the brake in the back here. Now let's see if we can get this camera to focus in the right area. Where's the lens? There we go. Right, so normally, let's see. Right, normally on the Bajas, these brake plates here only have 3 bolts. So you have your 1, 2, and 3 bolts there, and it's a triangular plate. This one has got an additional bolt that goes through here with a spacer. See if we can get you in there to have a look. Now bear with this, guys, because that camera angle is probably going to be absolutely atrocious. Let's have a look what we got. Yeah, it's not the greatest, so I can't really do it. But you've got an additional bolt in there, so you've actually got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this here. Now those 4 bolts makes a big difference, as opposed to the 3 that come as standard. The reason being, the 3 that come as standard with the triangle plate allow this pin to flex, and it lifts this back edge of the plate up, and this pin pops out, and it's wedged between 2 little cups, or 2 little bushings. So you've got a bushing in the top plate and a bushing in the bottom plate, and that pin sits there, and that is a cam for your brake pads. And if that pin pops out of those bushings, it doesn't cam properly on the brake pads, which really affects the performance of the brakes on these badly. So this was an upgraded top plate with the additional bolt hole and spacer, because obviously it's a top deck, so you need a spacer to go there, otherwise you're just going to compress it down. So the additional top deck and rear brace was an all-in-one thing. I think it was GRP, possibly, or GTB maybe. But it was an AliExpress special, and I wasn't expecting a great deal, to be fair, but it's made a massive difference. The thickness of the plate on the rear brace plate here is twice as thick as a standard plate, so it's more like a Turtle Racing or upgraded GTB plate or otherwise. And as I say, you've got the extra bolt hole there on the brake, which makes a massive difference. So yeah, all set and ready to rock and roll. We're now geared up to 2054 with the 30.5cc OBR overpowered Baja 5T. Who's ready for Sunday then? I know I am. Also got the 30 degree north sitting down there waiting to go. That's all sorted. Oh, the other in one of the other videos you guys might remember, I couldn't turn it off, and that's because the stop button had come out. I actually went and got a new stop button for this one as well, because that had come out. But so got the new stop button fitted. Went through that and checked why the kill switch wasn't working, and one of the wires had come out off the back of the coil, so reconnected that. That's obviously why it wasn't grounding out, because it wasn't completing the circuit. Even though the kill switch was activating, it wasn't connected to the coil, so it wasn't going to do a great deal now, was it? Right, let's turn this off. I've got one more thing to do. Let's put the under tray back on and put the cage back on. Now we're ready to go. So we just line that up underneath and slot that on. As I said, I've got a bolt on mine because the little plastic bobble that went through with the R-clip snapped. So if that happens to you guys, a very simple, easy way is just put a little bolt straight through it and a nut on the other side. Keeps the under tray on a lot better and a lot more secure than the split pin, because you don't have that flex in it. It doesn't, you haven't got that movement between the pin and the plastic, you know. So under tray on, under tray secure. Next part of the process will be to disconnect the battery. We don't leave our lipos. So yeah, I run a 4000 milliamp lipo. It looks absolutely battered. And to be fair, it is, but it still works. It's a hard case basher battery. 4000 milliamp, 2-cell lipo. And that's just what I run my electrics on. Obviously the rest of the car works off the spark from the engine that it produces by itself. You don't need a battery to make the engine run, apart from the fact that this has a kill switch. So obviously therefore with a kill switch you're going to need the power going through, otherwise it's not going to run, because it's not going to open the circuit, which is grounding out the coil, so you will have no spark. So we're just going to pop the cage back on. If I can get this split pin out, I think that's probably the wrong pin, maybe. It's a little bit big, there we go. Alright, so that's just going to pop through there like so. And then we line up the holes and pop the body pins straight through. Like so. Just come around this side of it here. Probably not in shot anymore, guys, so I apologise. There we go, right. That's that pin in. And we've got the 4 pins that go through the cage in the side here, so we have to line that up down over there. And then we've got the 2 that push through the back of the body and the back of the cage here. Now that's what the bag was that I left inside. Now this is probably the bit I hate the most, is lining these up, because my eyesight ain't the greatest. I'm getting old and my hands are too big. Literally speaking, my hands are too big. Definitely getting old, making weird strange noises and that when you bend over as well. So Let's see if we can get that back in there this time. Probably not. I might end the live stream in a minute because this frustrates me, shall we say. Oh. Cool, blimey. Has he gone and done one? Yeah, he's got one in. Look at that. Must be my lucky day. Now this one I had to cut down because of the side pipe. Just because obviously it was a bit longer and in the way. But it makes it even harder. I mean, honestly, you got hands the size of me, you ain't doing this. And as much as I moan about this, right, as much as I moan about it, I wouldn't run this without this cage. This Team Chase cage is formidable. Spin him round so I can see what I'm doing. He says, not that I can see anything anymore at all. Right, we'll come back to that one. That's the one I hate the most. I'll probably do that one off camera because I know I'll end up swearing. Oh, music's come back on. About time. Let's see if we can find the holes in this one. They're there somewhere. That's one. That's the other one. Pin in. Hand stuck. Excuse me. There we go. Alright. One more this side. This one's not too bad actually. Quite easy, he says. If you line them up properly. Somewhere around about there. Nope, still a pig. Oh dear. Anybody else suffer with this? I bet everyone out there with a Team Chase cage has thought there's got to be a better way to do this. But maybe next time take the side rails off with the cage. I don't know. Is that worth doing? Oh, come on, there's got to be a hole somewhere. There we go. Right, got that one in right. Do I do this one on camera? I don't think I will. Honestly, it's such a pig of a design. Right. Right, yeah, I'm going to end up swearing, so I think I'll persist with this one off camera. Or maybe not. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we're doing it. Maybe we are doing it. He's only gonna done it. Look at that. Right. And then the piece de resistance is this absolutely ratted up, beaten up, and bashed up, broken up body shell. But you know what? I'm going bash first. So what's the point? Right, why would you have a smart body shell if you're going to go and bash? It's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? Right, so body pins. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. It's like an episode of Sesame Street, isn't it? We're all counting. 6. 7 and 8. There we go, all 8 body clips in. Gearing done. Servos checked. Electrics checked. Diff done. Brakes checked. We're good to go. So yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. I hope some of you find this a bit educational. As I say, it's literally just mainly swapping over the gear sets. So we've gone from the original style with the keyway and a 19 tooth with a 55 tooth steel spur, all the way up to a 20 with a vertigo style hex and a 54 gear. So we get more top end, slightly slower off the mark, which should hopefully give me a chance to put traction down. So there we go, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. And as I say, we'll be taking this out this coming weekend. It's what day are we today? It's Wednesday today. So come Sunday, this will be tearing up some mud, along with the other toys that we have. I might take one of the drones out with me this weekend, I'm not too sure, but we've got here nice little selection of stuff, bits and pieces down there, all of which need work, I must admit. So we've got the Hyper ST, motor needs to be replaced in that's decided to leave the chat. We've got the Ansman Vapor, which last time I ran it ran okay. Got the Hyper 7 Nitro 21, that seems to be running alright. We've got the GS Storm Speedrun Buggy running on 6S, that's excellent, that's all set and good to go. And we've got the Ford F-150 up the top here. Needs a new dog bone, I've lost one of the rear dog bones, so it's not driving, but otherwise that's good to go. Just changed the chassis over to a metal chassis because I snapped the plastic one when I went out with it the other weekend. Then we've got a couple of little crawlers there, little HBX, and of course we've got the big boy, 30 degree north, 30.5cc, which will also be making an appearance this weekend. So once again, guys, thank you ever so much, and I will catch you soon.